Hi everyone! Welcome back to At Home with Gigi. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it. And if you're new, I'm Gwen and welcome to my channel. I hope that you will decide to become a part of my YouTube family and subscribe. And if you like what you see today, please consider giving it a big old thumbs up. For today, guys, I have two super easy and cute Easter DIYs to share with you. So I hope that you'll stick around and have some fun crafting with me today. For this first little DIY, you just need some type of a tray. Here I'm just using a little cupcake holder, cheese tray, not really sure what you call it. I found it at a thrift store a few years back. And I'm just placing some Spanish moss on top of it to create a nest. If you don't have Spanish moss, you can just use some grass that you have for your kiddo's Easter basket or something like that. And I'm just placing it all around the little bird, and I placed this bunny on here that I've got at Dollar Tree. It's those little white porcelain ones, and I just painted it pink. And I'm just going to put some of these eggs in there, and these are eggs that I picked up a couple of years ago from Walmart. And I'm just placing them around the little bunny and bird there. And the bird also came from Dollar Tree. This is not hard to do at all, guys. You do not have to be crafty in order to do this. Things together that you might have laying around your house. I'm going to use some flowers here that I had left over from a project that I did a couple of weeks ago. And you do not have to be crafty in order to do this project. And it doesn't take long at all. I mean, literally all together, maybe 5 minutes. And here I don't have any fingernails, so I'm having to use a little tool to get some of that Spanish moss up out of the little crevices around the plate there. And just place your flowers in wherever makes you happy. I picked up these flowers about a month or so ago at Dollar Tree, and I thought they were just so pretty and sweet and just spoke to me of spring. And just like that, you're finished. I hope you enjoyed this little DIY. Like I said, anybody can put it together, just a few little items. And there you have a sweet little spring Easter display to set out on your bookshelf, mantle. And you could probably leave this out through the rest of spring into early summer, actually. Guys, for this project, you're going to need an 18-inch wreath form or whatever size you want to use, but I like the 18-inch. It came from Walmart. And then the eggs and the Spanish moss, they all came from Dollar Tree. And I only used 3 packets of the eggs and I believe 1 bag, maybe 1.5 bags of the Spanish moss. And just be prepared, guys. This is a messy project. So I have some white wrapping paper that I pick up from Dollar Tree laid down. That way it's easy to clean up the mess. And I'm just starting off by putting down several layers of glue, and then I'm just pressing that Spanish moss into the glue. But be careful that you do not burn your fingers because it can get really, really hot there. And then basically all the way down the side of this wreath, I'm just going to put hot glue down and then just press down the Spanish moss. And then just keep layering it all the way down. If you don't have quite enough in one spot, just go back and add a little more of your hot glue. And then just press in the Spanish moss. Like I said, this does get messy, so just be prepared for that. So you can see here, I'm going back and just pulling off any excess that didn't stick with the glue. In this you will need about 3, maybe 4 glue sticks, because I used quite a bit of glue to hold this Spanish moss down. I had wanted to mix in some of the brown, but I didn't have any on hand, so I just went with just the green. And this came from an idea that I seen on Pinterest. If I can find the link, I will make sure I link it down below. But I thought it was just so cute. And I've never made one of these before. I've wanted to for the last couple of years, but just never got around to it. So this year I had all the items on hand and decided to go for it. And that little tool right there, it actually came from Dollar Tree, from their makeup section. And it's actually supposed to be made for makeup, but I believe it was Wendy over White Sparrow Living. I first seen her use that, and I just like got to have one of those, because it really does help save your fingers when you're using a lot of hot glue. And I'm just using it to pat it and press it down. And as you can see, that moss, it gets really messy. And just go back and just kind of run your hand along, make sure there's not a lot of excess laying there that's not sticking. And again, you can go all the way around the wreath if you want. I chose just to do one side of it because I liked that look. And here, guys, I'm going back with some spray adhesive and spraying that whole side over the moss. I mean, I'm giving it a really generous spray, and I'm just going to let it set until it dries. But make sure you move it off the paper, or else your wreath will probably stick to the paper. But it will help hold your moss on there. And I'm just going to start here by layering my eggs on this side of the wreath. And you may want yours all going in one direction. I just want mine looking like they're kind of haphazardly laying in a nest. So I'm just going to put them in all different directions. And just hold them down just a little bit to give that glue time to set up. Guys, if you're not into the speckled eggs, if it doesn't complement your decor, then by all means use whatever complements your decor or whatever makes you happy. I just love the speckled eggs this year. I know Dollar Tree has a variety of different colors. They even have some of the glitter ones. I got a couple of bags of those, but they just didn't really match my decor this year. Maybe next year, huh? But I just love these, and Walmart had some that were just solid colors whenever I was there a couple of weeks ago, so you might want to check there if you're not into the speckled. But I'm just loving them, and I just continued layering them all the way down the side. And just be careful, because sometimes I didn't put quite enough glue, because a couple of them did melt, so I cut back on a little bit of the glue, and then they were a little bit loose and wobbly, so I just went back and added just a touch more glue in between a couple of them, just to hold them together. Here I'm just adding some ribbon that I picked up from Michael's. Actually, guys, I got this on clearance at Michael's for $3, and I thought it was just so pretty, and it just complements my wreath so well. And I just folded each end of the ribbon under and then hot glued it together to make a loop, because that loop is what I'm going to use to hang my wreath. And if you don't want to use the loop to hang your wreath, you can use floor wire or even a pipe cleaner and just attach it to the back. And I just made a simple little bow, and I'm hot gluing that to the bottom of the loop because I want to keep that bow at the bottom of the loop and have the top part for hanging my wreath. Just fluff your bow up and straighten it there and just work with it just a little bit to make it look all nice and pretty. And I just gave the ends of my ribbon there just a little angled cut. And then I want to hot glue the back of this ribbon to my wreath because I don't want that bow sliding all around or the loop. I want to keep it in place. Just fluff up your bow and it's finished. And here it is with the rest of my spring decor. I am so glad I finally got around to making this wreath this year. I think it just turned out so very pretty, and I am just loving that ribbon that I picked up from Michael's this year. I think it just complements the wreath perfectly. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And also, if you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe and hit that little notification bell down there. And YouTube will notify you each time that I upload a video. And I'll see you next time.